And you retired at a time where Wisconsin had, I mean, not that Bo Ryan didn't have his share of success, but I mean, you guys had an immense amount of success right before you retired. Again, we're talking Final Four, right? In 2015.
Two, back to back. Yep.
Two back to back. Incredible. And Frank Kaminsky is someone who I'm sure you were very close to.
Yeah.
How did Frank? We always heard comparisons between Frank and Luka, and I see a lot of.
I think it's a good comparison. Yeah, especially the way they improved. Frank hardly played at all his freshman and sophomore years. A little bit of sophomore year, and then he took a big jump his junior year, and another big jump his senior year. Wasn't heavily recruited coming out of high school, but worked really hard on his game. He grew late, and so he played a lot of guard growing up. So he could really handle the ball well, and then he grew into being a bigger guy. But he could always shoot and handle the ball, and what he did, Corey, he just kept adding things to his game, whether it be a post move or he was a terrific passer. He could handle the ball. Really neat to see. He ended up being the National Player of the Year his senior year. So when we talk about Keegan Murray, that's, those kind of jumps can really, put a bolt into your program and really take it to a different level. Because if you're going to compete for Final Fours, you got to have pros on your roster. And we were fortunate that we had a few during that run. And Frank was one of them. Frank now is continuing to play with the Phoenix Suns and doing a nice job off the bench. So he's a really good success story.
All right. You mentioned Keegan Murray. This would be a good segue into his day tonight. I thought he just looked spectacular. Again, all of this has to be sort of regulated with the understanding that this is against Longwood. But 8 of 10, very efficient. And I was the most impressed, I think, with his 3-point shooting. I don't have his I can grab his 3-point stats.
I think he was 3 for 4 from 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw line, and 8 from 10 overall. What I've got, so and he had 5 blocks. 5 blocks. So he and 7 rebounds. He played both ends of the court. He's got a chance to be really good. It's going to be fun to watch. Now, as he gets playing stiffer competition, he's going to move up to where he's going to be the featured guy. They're going to put the top defender on him and things like that. So his game's going to have to continue to evolve, but certainly a great start.
Now, I know that coaches, especially Fran, will hate the preseason NBA mock drafts, and I understand they mean nothing at this point.
Yeah.
When I started hearing the rumblings last year of Keegan showing up in those, despite the fact that he was number 4, 5, maybe even number 6 on Iowa's squad last year, that kind of makes you furrow your brow a bit. And I kind of didn't buy into it. And certainly, again, way too early to be making grandiose statements based on one performance. But his body seems to have, just from my vantage point, it seems to have really developed as well. What do you see physically from him?
Yeah, and I think that's probably what NBA guys are looking at and trying to project. He's got good size. He's long. He's athletic. He's got a big frame that'll continue to add strength to. And so now it's just a question of, as we talked about with Frank, just adding parts to his game that can get him to the next level. And you talked about his 3-point shooting. The NBA is obviously a league that shoots a lot of threes, so that's going to be important. And he's off to a great start in that area. And then you got to remember he's only a sophomore, so that's exciting that he's barely started his sophomore year and off to a great start, and should be fun to watch all year long.
And I guess nicely into Kris in the conversation about him. You and I spoke a little bit about him prior to going live here, Gary. But, Kris, I think, I don't want to say rivals the athleticism of Keegan Murray, but has some of the similar physical traits. Where did you see his game progress game 1 and 2, obviously first being an exhibition, and where does he still need to improve?
Yeah, the exhibition game, he got into foul trouble pretty quickly and didn't get to play a whole lot, which happens a lot with younger kids. They're getting in there trying to be active and make something happen, and they get a little over aggressive. And can draw fouls. I thought he played pretty solidly tonight. I know he made at least 1 3 and he got some rebounds. So I think they had to be pleased with. I think it was a step forward, and it's almost, as we talked about, it's really like his freshman year. He didn't play a whole lot last year, so he's just kind of getting his feet wet. But if he can come on like his brother did last year, then that'll be a huge jolt to their depth, and so it'll be interesting to see.
Have you coached twins before?
No, not that I can remember. Not off the top of my head. I don't think so. No.
Yeah, because I do wonder how many of the. I mean, you've got to have similar athleticism there, right?
Oh yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. Now he's one's left-handed and the other one's right-handed,
right? Which
is a little bit different, but
that is odd. But I think
that's probably the only way the coaches could tell them apart is when they shoot the ball. Oh, that's got to be Kris. He's left-handed.
If I recall, the Morris twins were also right and left-handed. Am I correct in saying that at Kansas?
You might be right. I don't know. They were good though. I know that.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I said last year as well, Gary. Was, man, if you can even get a quarter or a half of the production you're getting from Keegan next year from Kris, man, that just elevates everything. And so I guess the verdict is still out on that.
Sure.
But he's got the physical attributes.